Most people don't expect to be charged with a criminal offense. And in fact, most people think that it's something that could never happen to them. But it is. You don't even have to do anything wrong to be charged with a criminal offense. And when it does happen, it is stressful. It can cause a lot of anxiety. It can feel humiliating. And sometimes you can feel utterly overwhelmed in the situation. It's important that when you're in that situation that you not allow yourself to be overcome by the situation. It can be very helpful, and in fact I recommend the first thing that you do is reach out to an experienced criminal lawyer who can assist you with giving you advice on how to handle your criminal charges. People often think that the cost of retaining a lawyer is prohibitively expensive and out of reach for most people. But most lawyers are willing to at least provide brief summary legal advice for free over the phone. Most lawyers are willing to do a flexible payment arrangement. And for people who don't have income or a significant source of income, in Ontario, you may be eligible for assistance through the Legal Aid Ontario program. If you're ever contacted by the police and you haven't been charged yet, that can be a very frightening and terrifying experience. And a lot of times people, especially people who have not found themselves in that situation, might panic and not know what to do in those circumstances. First of all, if you're ever contacted by the police, you have the right to consult with a lawyer whether you've paid one or not. You have the right to call the lawyer of your choice. If you're not able to reach the lawyer of your choice, there's free legal aid duty counsel available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of your income, regardless of the nature of your charges. If you're contacted by the police and they want to speak to you, it's important that you seek out legal advice as soon as possible.
If you've been charged with a criminal offense, you should not give a statement to police. A lot of times when people are charged with a criminal offense and they know that they're being held for a bail hearing, they think that they can talk their way out of being held for a bail hearing by giving information to police. Our recommendation is not to provide a statement to police. Don't say anything. Anything you say could be used as evidence against you. When you're arrested, the police will read you what's called your rights to counsel. They will ask you whether or not you'd like to speak to a lawyer. I'd recommend that you always say, yes, I want to speak to a lawyer, and this way the police are obligated to now provide you with your rights to counsel at the earliest possible convenience.
When you're dealing with the police, all people in Canada have the right to remain silent. That's something you may have heard in TV shows or movies. But the meaning is very important. That means you're under no obligation to give any information to the police or people who work for the government other than identifying yourself properly. You are under no obligation to give any information about yourself or any criminal offenses, or an obligation to answer any questions of the police. At any time that the police do ask you questions, you have every right to exercise your right to silence. From the moment you're contacted by the police, you should also begin gathering information. If you're contacted by the police, you should gather such information such as the name of the police officer, the police force they work for, whether or not you are the subject of the investigation, whether or not the police plan on charging you, and whether or not there's a warrant for your arrest. The only time you have any obligation to actually attend at the police station is when there is a warrant for your arrest, in which case you should surrender yourself as early as possible. Once you have been charged and released from the police station, you'll be given a court date. It is very, very important that you record that court date in your calendar or in your cell phone, and that you not forget that court date. It is important that you contact your lawyer right away to advise them of the court date and discuss with your lawyer whether or not your personal attendance is required or whether they can appear on your behalf. If you do find yourself in this situation, don't ignore the problem, don't sweep it under the rug. Call us at Easton Law right away.